Okay, Nick, here we go. We got the great Peter Glidden. This one is entitled Big Pharma's Silence on the One Nutrient to Target Blood Sugar Issues. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom YouTube channel and our platform where we have continue our series on nutritional health and wellness. I'm honored to have back with me someone I consider a very dear friend and someone who is, in my mind and millions of other people's minds, the top nutritional health and wellness expert, not just in our country, but in the world, Dr. Peter Glidden. A little background on Peter. He attended Williams College and then received his Bachelor of Science degree in pre-medical studies at the University of Massachusetts. He obtained his doctoral degree in naturopathic medicine from the great Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. He's a member of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, and he currently is in private practice of naturopathic medicine and has been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. Now, in addition to Peter distinguishing himself as a phenomenal clinician, he also is a phenomenal author. I encourage you to go to Amazon or to his website and get his books. They are a foundation of our medical library in the Janda household. The two books, Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, and Attempt a Cure with Holistic Medicine. Peter, welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform.
Thanks a lot, Dave. It's always a pleasure to be here. You mentioned Williams College. I'm going to I think it's a 40-something year in a reunion with a bunch of my Williams buddies. That's this weekend. I'm pretty excited.
So you graduated university at 10 years of age. That's outstanding. You're like the real Doogie Howser, man.
Yeah, I wish.
So, Peter, let's tackle blood sugar issues. And in particular, the one nutrient that really balances the scales as it relates to blood sugar-related issues.
Well, it's frustrating to talk about this because the science around this has been published for over 40 years, longer than that. In the early 50s, a medical doctor named Walter Mertz, right, MERTZ, I think, discovered that he could induce type 2 diabetes in laboratory mice or rats by withdrawing the nutrient chromium from their food. He took the chromium away, they got type 2 diabetes. He gave them chromium, it went away. It was like flipping a switch, right? Mm-hmm. And then years after that, within 10 years, there was another nutrient that was researched, vanadium, which also really helped the body to metabolize blood sugar. It really helped. So it's been, academic fact for 70 years now, 70 years that if you have a blood sugar imbalance, then, it would probably be a pretty smart idea for you to supplement with elemental chromium. And in my clinical experience of over 30 years, most of the time, people that suffer with any type of blood sugar abnormality, I don't care if it's type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance syndrome, syndrome X, whatever the heck it is, the first thing to do is give chromium. Well, the first thing to do is give all 90 essential nutrients.
Okay, that's your foundation.
And then extra chromium, right? Mm-hmm. And most of the time when people do that, all of a sudden their blood sugar levels start to normalize. It's not because they have a bad gene. It's not because they're getting older. It's simply because there's lack of nutrients in the food. Now, to make matters worse, there's an ingredient that is in most baked goods. It's called bromine, right? Mm-hmm. Brominated flour is kind of a big deal in the baking circles, right? All of the breads that people buy over the counter, they've got brominated flour, and bromine, guess what? Sucks what little chromium is in the body right out. So interestingly enough, the more baked goods that people eat, the less chromium is in their diet. And this, I believe, is one of the leading drivers of the dramatic rise in blood sugar related issues, especially type 2 diabetes over the last 20, 30 years.
So that's very interesting, Peter, because I have heard this in my medical circles, in the MD circles, when folks speak about blood sugar related issues, and they say, well, one of the big issues is people are consuming too many carbs, and this is leading to the blood sugar issues. But the word the brominated flour, if you will, has never come up in the circles of the MDs that I've traveled in.
Well, and they've got it backwards, right? Conventional medical community has it backwards because they will assume incorrectly that blood sugar issues are a function of obesity.
True,
right?
Very true.
And if you have a blood sugar issue, then you need to lose weight because it was the fat somehow that's causing the blood sugar issue, and they've got it wrong. It's not that obesity causes a blood sugar issue. It's that the same thing that causes people to eat too many calories is driving the blood sugar imbalance, and that's lack of nutrients. It's not that obesity drives blood sugar. It's that they're both different arms of the same octopus. Mm-hmm. But they've kind of misinterpreted the data, or they're looking at it through a glass darkly, and they don't really see the bigger picture, and that's a problem. And again, every day, all the time, it comes back to the monopolization of the medical marketplace.
Absolutely.
Because your colleagues are good human beings. They're well-intentioned human beings. They're honorable human beings. They don't want to hurt people, but they haven't been educated in any of this.
And that's true, not just in my generation of physicians, but also my daughter, who recently graduated from medical school. The nutritional foundation that was set for their class was very similar to the nutritional foundation that was set for my class as far as education, which was pretty close to nada, zero, right? So for an action plan, and someone who has been wrestling with blood sugar related issues, Peter, let's say they are even told by their physician, well, you have a family history of these blood sugar issues in your family. So the foundation, as you mentioned, would be the 90 essential nutrients. And that we've discussed is through the Healthy Body Start Pack. Now, full disclosure, through our site, operationfreedomhealth.com, we have all this information, the videos, the 12 bad foods that Peter hosts as far as what you need to avoid in your diet, and sale of the products on Operation Freedom Health do help the Operation Freedom platform. So, Peter, as far as an action plan for folks, where should they start?
Well, so there's a couple things to understand here about optimizing blood sugar metabolism in the human body. And this is an important consideration because those of us in the holistic community practice holistic medicine. We don't just give, in this case, a boatload of chromium, right? Mm-hmm, or, like Linus Pauling did, massive doses of intravenous vitamin C. Mm-hmm. We don't do that. We give everything that the body needs in a well-rounded formula, and that's the 90 essential nutrients. And the best way to get that is with one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 and one bottle of liquid plant-derived minerals. The combination of those two things, it's actually 4 products, gives the body the 90 essential nutrients in healthy amounts. And that's the foundation that everybody has to start with. Now, once we've laid the foundation, and of course we've stopped eating the 12 bad foods, then we can do, extra bone and joint support, extra kidney support, extra liver support, extra heart support, mm-hmm. extra central nervous system support, or in this case, extra blood sugar support. And it's easy. What we would do for extra blood sugar support is a product called Sweeties. Sweeties. What's the dose? Nobody knows what the dose is. You can start with 1 bottle a month, do 2 bottles a month, do 3 bottles a month. I'm going to say if you're over 250 pounds, then you should do 3 bottles of the Sweeties a month. That would be 4 capsules 3 times a day. And you need extra essential fatty acids. And very few people talk about this. Mm-hmm. Essential fatty acids are necessary for the cell membrane to be healthy. And all of the cells in our body, I don't care, man, if it's a brain cell or a bone cell or a heart cell or a skin cell, they have a membrane around them, a wall, right, like the skin on our body. And in order for sugar, which is the gasoline of the body, it's not the Antichrist, sugar is the gasoline of the body. In order for sugar to get through the cell wall has to be healthy. True. Oh, imagine that. So a nutrient that we need in order to have healthy cell walls are omega-3 essential fatty acids and, interestingly enough, cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what the cell wall is made from, cholesterol. So we would encourage people, right, to be on high-fat diets, or at least not to be avoiding fat. If you're going to have milk, drink whole milk, not skim milk. If you're going to be eating yogurt, eat full-fat yogurt, not skim, yogurt made from fat-free milk or whatever. You don't want to be avoiding foods rich in cholesterol because your body really needs cholesterol. So don't avoid cholesterol foods. Take the sweeties, 1, 2, 3 bottles a month, depending on your body weight, and essential fatty acids. Now, you're already getting essential fatty acids in the Healthy Body Start Pack, but I would do 1 or 2 extra bottles a month if you're dealing with a blood sugar issue. And in this regard, if you're an adult, the product would be Prohoba Omega. So 1 or 2 extra bottles of Prohoba Omega a month. Now, the trick here with blood sugar metabolism is that we want to be taking the sweeties and the Prohoba Omegas regularly at the same times every day.
Okay.
Because your body likes to get into a rhythm with that, right? Because there's this
circadian
blood sugar metabolism sine wave thing that's going on. And so the best way to do that is just make a decision on your own. Well, I'm going to take this stuff breakfast and dinner. I'm going to take my stuff lunch and dinner. I'm going to take my stuff breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever works for you. Find a schedule and stick to it. Because once you stick to it, a regular schedule of my sweeties and my EFAs and my sweeties and my EFAs, then your body's going to have a much easier time with managing the whole blood sugar thing. And you're going to, again, people just don't know what they're missing. They just don't know what they're missing. And the only reason that my profession exists in a hostile political climate like this is that most of the time our therapeutics produce results, right? And the proof of the pudding's in the eating. So Peter, I'm excited for your listeners to give this a try.
Peter, to those listeners that are on medication for their blood sugar related issues, it's obviously important that they inform their treating physician of what they're doing with their nutritional supplements so that the doc is aware of what's going on. But in those folks that are on medications for their blood sugar related issues, when they start on the Healthy Body Start Pack, they supplement it with the sweeties, they supplement it with the fatty acids. Well, and those that are on medications tend to follow their sugars closely. Will you, if their sugars have been running, if they've been having difficulties with high sugars and they start on this program, will they find over a period of time that their requirement for the pharmaceutical agents to be possibly diminishing with time?
Yeah, that's exactly what we look for, because the fundamental thesis here is that abnormal blood sugars are abnormal. And that the goal here is to bring the body back into a state of health. The goal here, by the way, is not to eliminate disease. And, we could talk about this. Maybe we should probably devote a whole show to this, because this is an interesting thing to talk about. And it's kind of a paradigm shift, right? Holistic medical doctors have a completely different way of looking at the disease process than conventional medical doctors do.
True.
So our goal here is to bring the body into a state of health, to optimize its health. And from our point of view, an optimally healthy body has no problem metabolizing blood sugar. An optimally healthy body doesn't have a problem with blood pressure. An optimally healthy body has healthy joints, right? And so forth and so on. So the goal here across the board is to bring the system into a state of health as much as we can. And in regards to blood sugar, then what we would expect and anticipate is people who are measuring their blood sugars, right? And, adjusting their insulin dose appropriately, they would see the blood sugars dramatically drop, and therefore their need for the meds dramatically drop. And one of my most favorite cases in this regard was a young man that I started treating about 7 or 8 years ago. He was 13, I think, at the time. maybe even younger. And he was type 1 diabetic, right? For, I think, from 3 years of age or 4 years of age, type 1 insulin-dependent diabetic. And he came to one of my lectures, and he thought that what I sent his parents to, and they thought that this was a good idea. So they put him on this program, right? The Healthy Body Start Pack, extra EFAs, the Sweeties, right? Easy breezy. Within 7 days, it was necessary for him. He didn't just do it on a whim, but it was necessary for him to reduce his insulin dosage by 75%.
Wow.
Because that's how much his sugar metabolism had improved, right? And he had such consistently remarkable positive experience with all of his blood sugar stuff. He's still taking insulin, but, he needs this much every day instead of this much every day.
Right.
And now he's in his sophomore year at Naturopathic Medical School.
Wow, congratulations. That's a great story.
So it was very, very rewarding to see this. But let's be clear here. The goal with all of these treatment strategies is to bring the human body into an optimal state of health. And in an optimal state of health, your blood sugar, you don't need meds, right? So sometimes people are able to stop their meds completely, sometimes dramatically able to cut down the dosage, or now they're only taking 1 med instead of 3, right? Everybody's different, but the goal here is to make everything work better and, better. And one more thing, and this is something that every pharmacist in the world knows, but nobody talks about. When people take a pharmaceutical into their body, the pharmaceutical works by messing with your, the metabolism of your body, with the biochemical processes in your body. And the biochemical processes in the body are run by the 90 essential nutrients. They're not run by fairy dust and, magic, right? It's the 90 essential nutrients that are driving everything. So when you take a drug for an extended period of time, it burns through your 90 essential nutrients. That's why the drugs stop working as well, and the dose needs to be increased, or you need the second or the third or the fourth drug, right? So almost across the board, what my patients experience is that when they nutrify their body, the drugs that they're taking work way better. And they're able to reduce the dose because the drugs are working better. Now, you think that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't know this?
Oh, they know it.
You think the people that are formulating these drugs don't know this, and that all that they need to do is put vitamins and minerals in with the drug to make it work better?
Yeah, well, that affects their
sales. You think they want to
so,
sell less drugs or more drugs, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a 2-for-1 here. So you take the nutrients, and your body is able to use the drugs more efficiently, and then your body gets the raw materials it needs, so maybe you can reduce or eliminate the drugs, and everybody wins.
And this is exactly what I found with my arthritis, Peter.
Yeah.
As opposed to them trying to increase as I went on my Healthy Body Start Pack, and all of a sudden, down came the requirements for the anti-inflammatories to, in my case, 0.
God, I love my job. I love my job, Dave. It's a beautiful thing.
And I love your job because you help millions of people. Because you help millions of people in doing it, and it's information that the big pharmaceutical companies, big insurance companies are not going to pass on. Folks, for the foundation of your medical library, everybody is sick, and I know why. And attempt to cure with holistic medicine. You can join us with for the products that we've spoken about today, the information, the 12 bad foods right on the top of the page, OperationFreedomHealth.com. Peter, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. You are just a huge resource that provides health and wellness to anyone and everyone willing to listen, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome, Dave. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
It's always a pleasure as well. Folks, until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Thanks for your time today. Dream big and dare to fail.